Coming from a bad place, oh yeah. Tryna be from a bad place, oh yeah. Tryna be a better me just for you. But it ain't easy, it's hard to get used to. Minding my own business, I'm not worried about what he do. Cause nowadays all it is to be see-through. I always said this is that I'm staying around people. Finding my own path like I'm writing my own sequel. Two-faced people all around, they be equal. 2021, you can never trust nobody. Good and bad thoughts on my mind, they be crowded. Pushing to get past his limits, then he see he vowed it. Family work hard, but I never guess I'm found it. Came a long way in my dream, now I be drowning. They dying, I hear got some hearts pounded. Multi-talented, my passion, I haven't found it. Yeah, in my home, I was never ever doubted. I'm here from a bad place, oh yeah. Tryna be a better me just for you. But it ain't easy, it's hard to get used to. Minding my own business, I'm not worried about what he do. Cause nowadays all it makes to be see-through. I always said this is that I'm staying around people.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your boy GFC Garvin, back again with another video for you guys. It's been a while, so now everything is settled. So now you guys will be getting your videos weekly as normal. So I want to say thank you for each and everyone that tuned in and who's going to watch this on the playback. So today I got Kenny here with me, the fellow co-host who's going to host a lot of the Jamaican segment on this channel, where we're going to do a lot of Jamaica Internationals team and the local Jamaican football, especially schoolboy football. So I want to say thank you for each and every one. Happy Sunday. How are you doing today, Ken?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's a pleasure to be back. Missing for a while, but it's good to be back here to let the people know what's going on in the football world.
What a very interesting weekend of football today, Ken. Especially yesterday. A lot of result that we thought would go, in one direction, swing into a different direction. A lot of these teams are sitting on 18 points, 19 points, from the top, let me see, from the top three, I think, down to about what, 8, all on similar points. Liverpool seems like they're running away, so far with the league. What you take on the closeness of the table?
A bit surprising so far, to see even Brighton and Nottingham Forest in the top 5. Arsenal now 6th in the league due to them drawing against Chelsea earlier. So
they move up to 4.
It's a bit 4th. No,
yes,
6th,
down a goal, goal
Brighton
difference. They move up to 4.
Yeah, Chelsea 5th. So yeah, it's an interesting one, very, very interesting to see, but it's not over until the final 5 games, like I always say. So yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with Liverpool because they're on top of the league, right? So it's fair for us to really start it off, on the top. To be quite honest, I think that's where we need to start off because Liverpool started off the season, excellent. What a start of the season. I think Slot, what he's doing over there is magnificent because it's the first they ever have a manager win so many games for his first 10 as a coach in Liverpool. He make history so far. I want to know what your takes on the way Liverpool, have been started before we even touch on Mo Salah. Let us talk a little bit about Liverpool. Did they surprise you? Where you thought of they would be finishing this season?
Liverpool, it's a bit surprising by the manager because to me personally, I never knew of him. He came into the league. I know I was expecting him not to win so much games as the beginning, but top of the Premier League, top of the Champion League, you can see him very impactful. And a very good defensive team as well, only conceding 6 goals in the entire season, scoring the second most goals, 21 goals to Man City. So no, fourth. Yeah. So you can see them. To me, I don't want to see them win the league, but to me, as it looks, they're the best team so far to win it.
Fully understand. I know that you won't want them to win it, but I think you let the people know which team you support. The reason why, and then the reason why you said you wouldn't want them to win it.
Yeah, I support Arsenal. I would like to see Arsenal win it because 2 seasons flop and no title to show to the greatness and the achievements, no title. So yeah, that's the reason.
Okay, and as a Chelsea fan, the reason why I would rather Liverpool to win it, and the reason why I don't want Man City to win it, and I wouldn't want Arsenal to win it of the London rival, the rivalry of the London. So for me, if Liverpool take it, it would be more, appreciated if Liverpool win it. In my humble opinion, I don't care about the rest of it because I don't want Man City to go five in a row. 5 in a row, that's gonna be something that's hard to maintain for any other team. So I would want them to stop it at right there where it is at fourth. When they come on to the London, I want London to always stay blue. That would be my partial towards Arsenal. As a rival, I would rather see it go to Anfield than go to my London rival. And I wouldn't want to see Man City turn this league into a former league. So I would rather it stay, in at Anfield than go to Man City or go to Arsenal. So that's my biasness towards the title this season. If Chelsea can't win it, all be unto Liverpool. I hold my hands up and say go for it. But so far so good. They surprised a lot of people, especially me, because I think I picked Liverpool to finish fourth, somewhere between fourth and fifth, and I think that it was an early call. The season is still early, it's just 11 games, so there's a long way to go. But so far, so good. They have all their players available. They got the best defense so far in the league. They have one of the best attack so far in the league. Their team are very experienced. They're one of the most experienced team in the league overall. They know what it takes to run Man City down, to track them down. They crossed the line one time against Man City. So I think they know how to do it. Their former manager, it seems like he was out of his depth. He was burned out, as what he said. So I'm not surprised now to see that Liverpool being so good. They just changed the manager. They didn't change any of the players. Now we're gonna go to Mo Salah. Mo Salah seems like he's a man off this planet right now. He's playing like a man dispossessed. He's unbelievable so far in the season so far. He's for me. We have to put him up there with the likes of Thierry Henry. I don't know if you think, in your opinion, if you think this is a conversation that a lot of people need to have now and give this man his respect. Mo Salah. Should we consider Mo Salah as one of the GOAT of the Premier League, in this era? Because I know they said Thierry Henry was the GOAT. But if you look what this man is doing week in, week out, year in, year out for Liverpool, I think he's right up there. I think he's in the conversation.
And when you mentioned Mohamed Salah as an important player in the league, but yeah, I would put him up there with the greats. He continues to do it season after season. He's a club legend already. We all know that. And I think his contract is expiring, I think, soon. And there were talks when Jurgen Klopp left, he was going to leave the club as well, and he does not know what the future holds for him at the club. But now seeing it, I think that he should just stay and be a club legend as it is, and be he is one of the best in the Premier League right now. No, I don't see any other player better than him. So yeah.
Yeah, and the disrespect that they put on Mo Salah name, I think it's unbelievable because since he come in the Premier League, even if Liverpool haven't been winning the Premier League, but he is. I think this we have to blame Liverpool fans too, because I think a lot of his Liverpool fans does not push the narrative, that and to put his name up there with some of the best. I think that is unfortunate that the Liverpool fan base doesn't push this man because you can start to push your players to be the best player in the league or to get nominated for the best player in the league if you use your social media and push these players to the top. And I think Mo Salah was very disrespected for many seasons. Welcome, Marin. My bro is here.
Hey, well, big up, guys. God bless you. Big up, big up. Long time.
Yeah, long time, bro. We're talking about Liverpool. We're leaving the Chelsea and Arsenal for last. So we're
Ah,
trying to talk about Liverpool. Do you think that they were being disrespected at the beginning of the season? And you would have want Liverpool to win the title over Arsenal or Man City?
that's a good question because like none of us actually thought Liverpool was gonna be in this position. Let's be real. Because of any slot. So I think when he came in, he kind of sorted out his team. He analyzed his team, and great job so far. But in terms of squad depth, like I just don't think they have the capability because they still have that December period and they don't have a lot of players to manage that period. So yeah, I did actually have some critics about it, but yeah, I kind of think now they've proven us wrong with it. So big up to them. I mean, like I just came on hearing you guys talk about Mo Salah and how he's been disrespected. And I hear that as well. I think Liverpool should push a narrative of him being like one of the best players in the Prem. So I think they have to put Salah on the spot now for Ballon d'Or. I'm not sure, but that's when trophy starts coming in and all that stuff. That's when we will have a conversation about that. But in terms of Liverpool right now, I think Liverpool are in a good situation.
Yeah, and I think it would be down to Liverpool fans to put him up there against most likely Thierry Henry. I know Ken not gonna like it because he's an Arsenal fan. But do you think that Mo Salah, Morin should be up there? In that conversation for the GOAT for the Premier League.
Wait, above Thierry Henry?
No, I'm just saying you think that he should be up there in the conversation. Because Thierry Henry didn't he did a lot for the Premier League. In my opinion, he did a lot for the Premier League. Don't get me wrong, but how many titles have he won for a team in the Premier League? I think Mo Salah won more and even scored more goals than Thierry Henry right now in the Premier League. So I can say that the same distance that Thierry Henry put in for Arsenal at the moment, the only thing that Thierry Henry have over Mo Salah right now is invincible. But Mo Salah won the league. He won the League Cup. He won the FA Cup. He won the Champions League with Liverpool. So in my humble opinion, I think that he can. You can add him to that list. Not saying he is, but you can add him to the list.
I think okay, that's a fair point to say because of trophy wise. Um, yeah, yo, in terms of Mo Salah, damn, um this is a wild debate because with Salah, like apart from his accomplishments, like in game, I just feel like there's so many players that are way better than him. But what he has achieved, we could say he has to be in that category of saying, okay, he's one of the best players in the Premier League. Okay, I'm not discrediting of what he has done, the Premier League. He's been an outstanding player for Liverpool, and he's been consistent. There's no one season where Mo Salah's not off. So this guy's been consistent. So I think maybe we should look at it as like as him being the best player, being one of the best players in the Prem, not being one of the greatest players, because there's like levels to it as well. Like I could say with Thierry Henry, there's levels to him, because I can't also discredit Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry, like I put him highly because he has done a lot for Arsenal, and not for the Prem, but especially for a team like Arsenal. He has done so much, and that has to be like be in the spotlight for some, young players to actually look up to. But when we look at Salah, like when we put it in that category of saying he's one of the best, we could say that. But is he one of like the best of the best, like the greatest players in the Prem? We have to see. We have to see, and in terms of his game, we have to really see.
That fair enough, Murray. Now, what do you think about it, Ken? Because I know your legend is Thierry Henry.
Yeah, you can put Salah over Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry is a great, all-time great, but Salah should be up there on the rankings due to what he has done in the league and as a player. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm not saying he should be. I'm just saying he should be in the conversation. He kept the Premier League alive for so many years. Especially when we have your Kevin De Bruyne. Your we can add him to the list too. We can have your Kevin De Bruyne to it. We can add Bernardo Silva to it. And the list goes on because there's a lot of players in that time that really show their true potential. And week in week out, performance wise, you can say there's a lot of players we can add there. Your Wayne Rooney, even though he retired early, but he still come on and he still did his best. You did a job, we're Frank Lampard, of one of the best goal scoring midfielder of all times. Not only just in the Premier League. So we can go on and on. Steven Gerrard, I think he was overrated for Liverpool, in my humble opinion. I think he was a good player for Liverpool, but I think Mo Salah have passed him, in the GOAT conversation for that side of the
Yeah.
town.
Mm.
So what you think about the Mo Salah and Steven Gerrard, conversation? Do you think there's a conversation there, or do you think that Mo Salah already passing by? Hello, Miss Rosie.
yeah. Tough, 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 tough. But in my opinion, you mentioned some names earlier. All greats, all good players. Like you mentioned, Frank Lampard, a bit overrated. But in my opinion as well, he is overrated. But you mentioned some good names of great players who kept the league going, who has shown their quality for their teams and how they have impacted the teams. You see them, the teams without them, how they suffer without them, and you can see the players' impact on them. So yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna touch a little bit to the games. On the weekend. I don't know which game you guys want to take you by surprise. Which one of the top 8 teams game that you guys really want to talk about first, because there was a big surprise. Let us talk about Tottenham Hotspur first. Let us get the worst one out of the bunch. Have you guys see any difference in Tottenham, or Tottenham just always going to be Tottenham?
No, I have never seen any change whatsoever. What's happening? This guy's had a stinker. Yo, I don't know what happened. With Tottenham losing to Ipswich, wow. Like, I'm not surprised anyway because they've been playing this high line thing, right? Okay, they've been playing this high line with the inverted wingers and all that stuff. And some regular players, especially for Tottenham, haven't been it. And some people have been saying, Son is one of the good players in the Prem. But Son, guys, let's be real, Son has been quiet lately, very quiet. Except maybe he did his thing against West Ham when he scored a goal and gave 2 assists. But other than this, what has he done recently? The only player that has been good is Brendan Johnson and Kulisevsky. Those are the only 2 players I could see. Maybe they are standout players in Tottenham. But so far, I haven't seen any change of whatsoever what Angie's trying to do. But losing against a mid-block team in your home ground maybe says a lot of questions to what he's trying to do because you had a season to rebuild, and certain results like that is unacceptable against a team that doesn't even know. They don't have maybe 1 or 2 players that you can buy maybe from 50 to 60 million in the market. They don't most of the even one player that scored a goal is a loanee from Manchester City. Imagine. And they have to battle with that. So in terms of what I'm seeing with Tottenham, I don't know what's going on.
What do you think about Tottenham, Ken?
Yeah, like you asked, Tottenham is gonna be Tottenham. Start the season good, and after that, everything crash. That's just the Tottenham. I haven't seen any changes. Same old Tottenham, same old expectations, no trophies, just the same old, same old. But Ipswich, though, a very good win for them. Feel happy. They're one of the teams I want to stay in the Premier League as an underdog team. And once again, you see Liam Delap showing his quality to get on the score sheet. And Tottenham were the most dominant team for the entire game. As you if you watch it, you would see, but just not the result they were expecting.
Yeah, and for me, Tottenham gonna always be Tottenham. It's I just think that there's not I have nothing to do with the manager or the players. I just think it's just the history of the club. The history can go a far way. And I think that the history of Tottenham is always find a way to fail. And that's why I was more concerned about my own team. That I would love for them to turn around this season because once you fall into mediocre, it's hard for you to get out of it. It'd be just like you going to the gym each and every day. You go there, you work out, you work out, you work out, and then you stop for like a year, and then it start to go to 2 years, and then you see start to go to 3 years, and then you try to motivate yourself to get back there. It take a lot of courage, for you to really start to put back the work in. I don't know if you guys believe in that part, but I think that Tottenham for so many years they've been failing. So I just think that it's just going to their DNA, and it's just something for them hard to really get over, to hit that. But I think if they win a trophy, if they win something that's valuable, like probably a FA Cup or something, it will probably, change the mentality of the club. But until then, Tottenham gonna always be Tottenham, and so it's just unfortunate that they have such a wonderful stadium, but they just cannot be consistent. The next team we want to talk about is Newcastle. Is Newcastle is back or is just a one-off today? Because Nottingham Forest, we all know that Nottingham Forest was on an unbelievable run, where they were sitting third in the table, and right now they're there, lose today to Newcastle, 3-1. Everyone was saying that Nottingham Forest have the best defensive unit in the league. They concede less goals. I think on the Liverpool they concede less than them. But see, they conceded three today against Newcastle. Is Newcastle is back or just Nottingham Forest has fall off today? Go ahead, Maureen.
Yeah, big up to Nottingham Forest, man. They tried because like I think they were off. The second half they were off, man. But I did watch the game. I tried. There were one or two bits I saw from Newcastle. I think the whole game was just based on quality. Newcastle just had quality players. I mean, like if you have your quality midfield like Bruno Guimaraes and you know Ozil as well, they even had a experienced defensive at the back, so they were very clinical as gents. So there's no way I could see the Forest getting a chance. They did. They had a chance. You know, there were one or two moments they had, but like in terms of Newcastle, also they were defending. So I just couldn't see Nottingham Forest doing something there. But they were just outclassed, just individual performances as well from Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, I think Newcastle they're just coming up and down. They just have this dip with them. They lose, they draw, they win, then they go into a winning streak, then they lose again. So I think it's one or two things Eddie Howe is trying to fix. But we can see that this team is very good in terms of the quality they have. They're very good. So we cannot just like underestimate Newcastle.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's their first loss too of the season. If I'm correct, I think
And
they
not
were
Nottingham
probably the one.
Forest.
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't think they lose any game during the season so far. I think they're on an undefeated run. So they're on a good run. To be quite honest, what do you take on it, Ken? Ken?
Yeah, didn't watch that game. But like you mentioned, Newcastle great to win, but like you mentioned, Nottingham Forest on a great run. You know, they're in a position that no one expected, and you can see them. I see them like a Europa League spot team or a challenging team for a spot. But yeah, Newcastle though they fall off by a lot to me. But by the season has just begun. It's just early days. You will see everything turn out for the remainder. But good job for to Nottingham Forest so far in the season.
Yeah, Marin, I'm gonna go to your favorite team, man, Manchester United. Have they turned the table? You know, since Ten Hag left, it seems like they turned the table, and I think they win four from. No, they drew with us. So I think they win about three from four. So far it seems like Manchester United have found a way how to put the ball in the back of the net. They beat Leicester City, which we all know that Leicester City is not the Leicester City of old. And what your take on it?
Yeah, I wanted United to lose, man. Ish. Don't like that club, but they were going to win because I mean Leicester City as well. They had good players, but they didn't have that quality in the front. So they had who's this guy? IU as well, the older brother. I mean, at this age, at this time, you kind of like your football is kind of like But they had one or two good players in the front. Wilfred and Didi trying to do some things in the middle, but they were not really effective. And when you get players like Bruno Fernandes, coming into the middle in the third area and shooting from outside the box, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of goals from that. So it's kind of gonna kill the game. So yeah, Manchester United, I think they still have a lot to work on. I mean, yes, you could say because they start having this good run of games because of the change of the manager, but I just feel like they still have a lot to do in terms of like especially the some players, let's be real, the some players are not Manchester United quality. some of the players in that squad. So I think, since Ruben Emrem is also going to be in charge, maybe this guy is going to come in, get rid of some players, and bring his own players. So what I've seen so far with Manchester United, yeah, good change right about. I don't see them, doing something further, you know. But yeah.
Hi, Miss Milena. I'm sorry the game I've drawn. I thought I would have nicked it, but it was a good game, though. I think it was a fair result. Which we're going to touch on that one a little bit later. I'm doing the top eight show, so I will definitely leave that one for last. But I really appreciate you joining. Thank you. But what do you think about Manchester United, Ken?
Yeah, great job to sack Ten Hag. I've been expecting it. I woke up in the morning and saw it. I was like, if it was a joke or not, but it was true. It was a great decision. Since then, I think Road has been. I think they should give him a try as manager, although it's not an easy job. But yeah, to me, it was a great decision. I see them coming back. I want to see them come back. So yeah.
We know we're talking about Liverpool earlier, but we didn't talk about the game. And the reason why we didn't talk about the game because we were leaving it for this part, because there was a lot to talk about Liverpool because they're doing excellent. We cannot take that away from them. So we have to do it, accordingly. We have to start off the show because outperform, Aston Villa team that a lot of people say that will be finishing the top four or challenge, for the title this season because of the way they finished last season and the way they start in the Champions League. But recently they've been falling off. So I don't know, if you guys think it's too much for the likes of Aston Villa at this part of their project. Do you think that it's too much for them to keep up with the Champions League and the league? Do you think it will cost them the top four this season? Start with you, Marin.
In terms of Villa, I don't know about them qualifying for Champions League, but all I know is that maybe they can have a chance. Because you can look at the squad. This Gents also have quality players. Watkins, Rogers, Bailey, Ramsey. Yo, they have good players. Especially John Duran coming from the bench. Ian Matson there. Yeah, but they have those shaky games as well. Maybe they lose one, draw one, win, but like I think they're good enough because they have a good squad. They have a Champions League squad and they have a Premier League squad. So I think they'll be okay. But in terms of qualifying, I'm not sure. Because also there's other teams also that are rebuilding and also want to nick that spot. So it's gonna be a difficult season for Aston Villa. Because they as well they're also considering a lot of goals. They're being considering so many goals this season.
Yeah, what do you take on it, Ken?
When you mentioned Villa, coming from back-to-back defeats against two great teams, to me, I don't think they're qualifying for the Champions League this season. All hopes for them, but yeah, Liverpool, remember, a strong team. Going into that, I believe they are most likely the favorites to win. So, like Mary said, no Champion League spot for them, but I don't know if they're even going to Europe due to the way how the teams are playing this season, but we will see.
Yeah, and it's surprising for me, or they start off the season and the way now they haven't win in so many games. That to show you that depth of the teams, is very very important. Which we see was Chelsea got a good depth. You have to say almost have two teams where it can go and compete. You know, y'all got the likes of Joe Felix still on the bench. You know, can even get a sniff in. So I think that who got the bigger squad is the one that gonna be running closely to the teams that we all have as out and out favorite for the Premier League title. You know, the teams that got the bigger squads, you know, are the better rotation. You know, that's the team I think that's definitely going to push on and challenge. You know, it's unfortunate that that right now we have to talk about Manchester City and Brighton because what's really going on with Manchester City is the first time they lost 4 games in a row under Pep Guardiola, you know, or for a long time. So, you know, Manchester City guys is having a big fall off. You know, let me ask you this, Marin. You know, let me go with you first. Do you think Man City have the depths, you know, to compete right now in the league with the likes of Rodri is out, you know, and Usara and few they got few injuries, not many injuries, but do you think that Man City failed because they didn't go deep in the transfer window, you know, to bring in more players as squad depth?
Yeah, I believe so. Cause I mean, in that game, you can look. The subs like they had almost 5 young players, and they starting 11. They only had probably 2 or 3 star players. Okay, I could say Gundogan, yes, but Gundogan now it's probably at his peak now. So I think Pep got it all wrong with the transfer. I think he failed to replace some players. I think as well because he didn't know that Rodri was gonna get injured, so maybe he didn't think of buying another DM. But I'm also gonna have him because he didn't replace Alvarez. Because a striker like Alvarez, right? With him, he didn't see this. Like last season, when Manchester City were winning games, there were moments where Alvarez came inside and he changed the game. Like he'll get a goal on an assist or he'll try to nick the game for Man City. Now they don't have this guy. And now it's Man City's it's actually hard for them to actually kick on and come into the game quickly. Because they had a player like Alvarez. So now you don't replace that kind of a player, so you're gonna get moments like this. You're gonna lose games, important games, especially this Brighton game was an important game just to stretch the lead. But I think as well with depth, man, they failed. I think Pep Guardiola failed extremely hard because I think he didn't see the Rodri injury. Then when Rodri got his ACL, that's when everything just went down to the ground. But now we can see that the whole system was part of Rodri. So yeah.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. For you, Ken, you know, do you see a way back from Man City, you know, in this title challenge, even though it's few points? You know, we all know that Man City is the team that you cannot sleep on, you know, but do you see a way back from Man City in this race? You know, that's been always too early for you to call it.
Yeah, remember, Man City is a team you can't count them out. You can never count them out. But to me, the ship is sinking. No matter what they do, no matter how they fight. To me, in every team that is always dominating, there has to be a time where they fall, and now Man City is falling. Losing 5 games back to back, 2 Premier League matches back to back. It's tough, but you will see them come back and bounce back from this one.
Um, I'm gonna be fair as much as I can be fair with this. You know, on this top eight show, you know, guys, remember to like. You know, we got 17 likes so far. You know, let us at least hit the 20 because you got a great panel right here. You know, the panel is very good right here. So let me look at it this way. There's two teams in the Premier League that I said probably gonna fall off a little bit. And it's gonna be Liverpool, probably not this season, but in a few in Man City. And the reason why I said that, the players aging. The Mo Salah and Van Dijk soon be no more. Your Kevin De Bruyne almost there. The goalkeeper for Man City, Edison. About your Kovacic, your Rodri's out. You don't know how long it's going to take for him to get back to his best. So if you look at that, there are some very key players there. So do the rest of teams can take advantage, of that situation, because we all know that at Liverpool, it's still got the problem with the contract situation with Chen Alexander, Mo Salah, and Van Dijk. So that's three key players that's in that squad. If those players end up leave, and the goalkeeper Addison, that's why they try to get that goalkeeper, because we never can tell that probably this would be his last season. Because when players start to get up in age, they start to look towards the Saudi league. So if Liverpool end up lose those four players, it's gonna be a massive boots to fill. The same thing with Manchester City. Your Kevin De Bruyne, you notice he started to get a lot of injury. So I can sit here and say that Man City probably win the title this season? Probably not. It's not every season this team gonna be hungry enough to come back after trailing. So I think it's gonna caught up on them. I think it was gonna be Arsenal this season, would have been up there. But I think that Arsenal definitely need a better manager. This manager overthinks a lot of things, things that he could have done better. I think that he's too emotional, and when you got too much emotional, it's hard for you to be a coach, because sometimes that kind of clouded your judgment. You make a lot of mistakes, and that's what I see he started to do this season. He's changing. He's changing from what Arsenal done best for him so far. The high press, high tempo. Last season, he tried to slow it down until the last part of the season. He's trying to push on, and then he's trying the same thing this season, but losing a lot of points. So I think that Arsenal is not the dominated team that they were last season, and I think that's because of coaching. I think the coach is holding them back a little bit, because he probably overthinking it, that if we keep our players fresh for the last part of the season, we can push on. But to see the form that Liverpool is on, and City is still above them, to trace down one team is something different than have two teams to trace down at least 3 or 4 teams, because Chelsea is right there, sitting right there, same amount of points with them. Your Aston Villa is still there, Brighton. Much as we want to say, it's not that far off. So you got so many teams right there in and around you. It's not easy to go on and push on. So I think that it's going to be a tough call, in Arsenal favor. But I still have Liverpool and City, to really dominate it for the rest of the season. I think they're going to find a way. But I think after this season, that's where it's going to be the downfall. And then again, who to tell that the 125 charges is not a big problem for Man City? What do you think about it, Maureen?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the charges, because I just feel like those guys are gonna pay it out. But um, I think as well, if they do get guilty, if they're found guilty for it, they will face really good consequences. But as well, I feel like they are also declining a bit, just because they never recruited some players into their system. So they are going to come in form and out, but in terms of like long term with the project, like you said it with Liverpool, there are some players that are getting old, and it's gonna be difficult to replace one or two good players, especially stars. So, like a player like that is actually a star player in the team. The likes of Gundogan, De Bruyne is getting old. So those players they're getting old. So you need fresh players, and players that have been playing football for a long time, for a while especially. So yeah, I think you will finally see a little bit of a dip with some teams, but you will also see some other teams as well coming up, trying to also rebuild and all that stuff. Likes of Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Brighton. Brighton now they're looking like just bringing young talented players. They have a good squad to young players, and now they have this project, and now it's kind of working out for them. So yeah, we have to look at these teams as well. Like they want to also compete. So it's going to be a good one. Can't wait to see who's going to nick the top four now.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Let us just run down the rest of scores real quick, and then we touch because I promised I was gonna close this off in 1 hour mark. And let us run down the rest of results. Fulham. What we think about Fulham this season. They beat Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace is really struggling. That manager I've been found out last season. He have a good finish to the season. What you guys take on it? Who want to take it on first? All right, go for it, Ken.
I I don't really watch Crystal Palace matches, but when you mention Fulham now, Fulham a team, a good team so far this season. At a place where not expected of them. You would expect like a relegation spot or above, but seven not bad. But you see Fulham strengthening their team recently with the likes of Emil Smith Rowe, you know, a great player from Arsenal. You have Bern Leno in goal and Raul Jimenez. So they have a squad that can do their best to keep them in the Premier League. And I don't know about contesting for a European spot, but when that time comes. But yeah, they currently have a team that can dominate and can beat some big teams as well. So yeah.
What do you say, Marin? Big up, Ty. Big up, bro.
Hey, pick up Ty, yes. Yeah, I haven't been watching Fulham games, but I don't know how they're doing. Looks like they're sitting in the mid-table, eighth and ninth, seventh, which is a good start for them because they are like a mid-block team. So that's a good start. I mean, they had good, decent signings like Smith Rowe now is scoring goals. There was one game I saw now he's scoring goals, getting assist, which is good. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't been watching a lot from Crystal Palace as well. So they're doing very bad. I think it's just because maybe it's a new tactical change and some of the players, especially the star players, have left. So I think it's going to be a difficult position for them to just get somebody that can be a standout player for them. So it's really a difficult situation for Crystal Palace at the moment.
Yeah, that's what you said is fact. But the thing is, we're gonna go to Wolverhampton. Got their first win of the season.
Yeah, same with Wolverhampton as well. What I picked up from them is what Gary Neville likes to do. He likes to switch up his tactics, but like he keeps that. Sometimes he keeps a back three, goes back to back four, and there's some games it's actually it works out very well. I can see what he's trying to do. It's very technical. It's a technician. But yeah, I think also Wolverhampton they have they're going to be that team that they're going to struggle very well because they lost Pedro Neto, they lost some key players that was going to hang them up. So I don't think Wolverhampton are also gonna try and survive in the Prem.
Yeah, now we're gonna switch pace. We're gonna go to the big game of the day. Big up Miss Melina once more. I really appreciate you tuning in. But the big game of the day is Arsenal versus Chelsea. London Derby. For me, it was fair result. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think both teams did enough to win the game. Arsenal, in the last minute couldn't nick it. Was a very very good chance to win it in the late stage. They didn't make the most of it. You know, what can I say about this game? It was a very even match game. Both teams, dominated the ball in some parts of the game. Not a full dominate from both teams. It's just a piece of this and that for both teams. But I was gonna say that Marine, you were gonna represent Chelsea, and Ken, I know you're an Arsenal fan, so you will represent Arsenal. On this topic. I'm just throwing out there. Before we even touch on players, what you guys both think of the game. It's up to you guys who want to go first.
Um, Great game. Second, I watched the second half, not first half, but the second half, I went on to see the Martinelli goal and the Pedro goal. Martinelli goal, it was a bit of a trying offside chop, but I don't remember what player it was that kept him on side. But defensively, both teams played very well defensively, and to me, Arsenal should have won it, but credits to Pedro Neto on the finish. But Arsenal should have won it in the last. For me, if I was the manager, Trossard wouldn't be back on the field for a good while.
What do you say, Marin? Are you gonna defend your Chelsea team? You can't let this man out sprint you.
I mean, there's some points he's right, Gavin. So, because hey, this game was Arsenal's game. This game was Arsenal's game. If you look at the first half, who was creating more chances in the game? It was Arsenal. Arsenal created almost 4 or 5 chances. Cole Palmer only had 4 touches in the field today. Only 4. Why? Because you never had someone in the middle that's offensive enough to push him further. The guy had to drop deep. So this guys marked us so well. I don't know how they did it. They just marked us very well. And when it comes to teams when they play with us, right? And Arsenal saw this. I don't know if uh, Miguel saw this, or I don't know what they saw. They played this other football where they were playing low block, and they kept on playing with the ball, kept on carrying the ball. And when they saw that, the minute they saw that, they saw the Chelsea's actually not attacking, not pressing. They saw that they can play around us. Once they saw that, that's when they started playing. That's where the chances started coming. And I feel like I think that's one tactical mistake Maresca had it wrong with Arsenal. Just letting them have the ball, had that ball possession as well. But, fair enough to Arsenal defense, they were very spot on. The marking was okay. I'm just so sorry about Saka. Yeah, Saka is shame. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, he was marked today. Big up to Cucurella. I think he was my man of the match today. But yeah, like I said, Arsenal, like with me, I would take this as a draw. But the way I saw it, Arsenal deserve this win. They deserve it because I can't just be and lie to you guys and say, Chelsea could have rounded up this game. I didn't see anything that Chelsea did apart from the second half with their Pedro Neto goal and some few chances. But the whole game, fair enough to Arsenal. They came in and they did their job.
As I see, my brother Ty here, saying about Pedro Neto look like, but for me, I think it's time to have that conversation that Pedro Neto need to start on the right. It's time for Nodi Madueke, smell the bench, and smell what it feels like to sit in the cold on the bench. This is just my take. I think that he didn't have a wonderful game today. Honestly, like since he got that I think Wolves, probably put some stuff on him because since he got that comment against Wolves, when he scored that 4 or 3 that hat trick, I think that's the hand of Nadi Madueke so far, this season. He haven't lived up to expectation in my opinion. I think that he needs to do more. The end product is not good enough. His combination play with others teammates is not good enough. I think that he's just like average at this point in time. We take it, he line up the guy and try to dribble past him. I think that after a while that get outdated, and I think that that's not the money way. But Pedro, once he switched side, you can see that the crossing that he started putting into the box, it's different than when you got the Noni Madueke out there. You can see that Noni Madueke is more easily to contain, and a lot of big teams that realize it, so they give him the option to driver. But when you got the likes of your Neto, he definitely, you don't know if he's gonna cross it or he's gonna driver. So he give you a different outlet. All right, let me put this one, and then you can take it on, Marin. Would you agree about Enzo was needed for the I'm gonna put it this way. Enzo Fernandez, he definitely I would say he definitely play good when he come on. And Ty put that one there just for me because he know my take on Enzo right now. You know, but I'm gonna say, as we all know that Arsenal should have won it, because Arsenal create more cut edge chances to win the game. It was an even game in certain aspect. I think a draw was kind of fair, but Arsenal could have win it because they create more dangerous opportunity. But this one from Ty. Let me go to the Ty one first. What do you think about it? All right.
Yeah. I think he's right because he has a point. Because when Enzo came in, Palmer didn't stop dropping deep. Palmer was now up in the front now. But the problem is that Palmer lost a lot of legs out of that running that he did in the first half. So Enzo was kind of important. Who set up the Neto goal? Enzo Fernandez. So he was very instrumental. And in terms of the offense, and I know I was on Twitter just before I came on, and people were like, Enzo didn't do anything. I'm like, yo, Enzo had a little bit of an impact in the middle. Like the person who was collecting all the drop balls was Enzo. The time when Caicedo was tired, there was a moment where Caicedo couldn't actually um, try to recover the ball, right, because of his legs. Then Enzo was there. Enzo was there recovering all those things. And fair play to him. And I know people don't want to see this because, they have a real agenda on Enzo. I sometimes do have some moments with Enzo Fernandez when he's not performing, but today, this guy, he was actually spot on with creativity. So we kind of needed someone in the creative side, in the middle. So, yeah.
All right, Ken. That's fair. What you take on it, Ken? Or let me give you. Miss Melina is an Arsenal fan, Ken. You're gonna have to go over there one day on her show. She's a big Arsenal fan. What you take on her about? Yeah, I think that Caicedo, to be quite honest, and Neto, is Chelsea best player in this game. To be quite honest, so for this game today.
For me, it would be Neto the man of the match, not Caicedo. But fair play to Enzo coming on the goal. Although Kai Havertz should have pressed for the ball. He just stood there like he was gone or lost. I don't know if it was the head injury that got to him or what, but yeah. But fair play to Chelsea. Good, great win. So
All right. This is one question that I need to ask. Would you guys say the title race for Arsenal is over, or would you say it's too early? Because there's a lot of people who are panicking, because of the start of Arsenal have made. I see a lot of people being saying that the title race is over. But would you guys say that the title race is over? Would you guys say this too early to call it?
Ken can go. I wanna hear his thoughts first.
You can go ahead, Ken.
the title race it's a bit early. It's very early because last season we could have said, oh no, the season before when Arsenal started to dominate, when they were on top right through the entire season to the last down to the last moments, you would say, oh, they're winning it, and but it's a bit early to say. But to me, I think they have a lot of catching up to do in terms of the title race. So yeah, and remember, they have Champions League, so much. They have competitions playing. They are still in all of them, I believe. So yeah, it's a bit tough, but let's see how it goes.
Ty said here the title race is still open. Would you agree to that, Marin?
Yeah, I think I agree with people. Yeah, I agree with you guys. When you say it's still early, I think they still have a chance. I mean, they only like how many points? Like, is it 9 points now? Yeah, 9 points off Liverpool, so they still have a chance. If Liverpool start dropping points, then yeah, they still have a chance. So we just have to wait and see how they're gonna do in the next couple of games.
Well, that's exactly fair enough. For me, I think the same. But what do you take on it, Ken?
What was the point? What was the point? I didn't get that one.
You think the title race is still open,
Could you
or you just think it's
repeat what he said?
no? I'm saying, do you think the title race is over, or you think it's still
Yeah, it's
open?
still
We're
open.
going by
It's
Ty.
yeah,
We can go ahead.
yeah, to me it's still open. And remember, like I said, it's a bit down to the last 5-10 matches, in my opinion, but the title race is still on. It's not ending, so it's that is very quick to decide. But Liverpool, if they continue their run, you can give it to them by January. But to me, it's a bit early. So yeah.
Okay, this one go for you, Marin. I don't know if you can see it. Um, Ty put it up right there. Or you want me to read it?
Um, yeah, sure. Okay, you can read it. No problem.
Oh, he's just saying that if Arsenal is still in the title race, Chelsea would be too. But Chelsea fans already know not to get their hopes up.
Yeah, I agree with him because like I wouldn't get my hopes up for this season. It's experimental season this season. It's to see what Maresca ball is, so I wouldn't get my hopes up for the title. The only hope I have is Champions League. That's it. Then I think next season we can challenge. But if they have the mentality of challenging the league, yes, let's go for it, bro. Let's go for it. But hey, bro, since what I saw today, I don't think Maresca has that mentality of challenging the league, bro. Like, hey, I'm just questioning his tactical decisions today, especially even the last game against United. So yeah, but I feel like we have a fair chance to qualify for Champions League.
What do you think, Ken?
Yeah, yeah, a tight race. Arsenal are still in it. Chelsea is still in it. City is still in it. But to me, as a person that watches football, I'm going to count out Nottingham Forest out of it because we all know that when it comes on to the big teams contest for the title, although you can see an underdog like Leicester, for instance. But yeah,
As you said about Nottingham Forest, the next game they got is Arsenal at the Emirates, at Emirates Stadium. So Forest, for me, that's where probably the gap's gonna be open if Arsenal can get can beat them. But Chelsea can go 3 points clear of all these teams. If they can beat Leicester City after the international break, because Chelsea will be playing. I'm just gonna give you guys the games after the international break. So Chelsea will be playing Leicester, and that will be the first game of the weekend. Then Arsenal gonna be home to Nottingham Forest, and then Aston Villa gonna be home to Crystal Palace. And then the big one, that's where I said that probably the gap's gonna be open or closed. Then you're gonna have Manchester City, gonna play Tottenham Hotspur. So for me, I'm looking for Liverpool to even pull away a little bit further, because Liverpool is gonna be away to Southampton, and we all can say Southampton is the worst team in the league, and then Manchester United is there with Ipswich down. Newcastle gonna go to West Ham United. So we can already see where a gap's gonna be open and closed, into that weekend.
Do you think it's gonna be closed the gap? I'm not sure. Like, I mean, like in terms of the period now that Liverpool has, unless Liverpool, right, start losing games in December, that's where their big concern is. Because if the players start getting injured, that's where they're gonna have to start thinking about December period. But from the games I'm seeing right now, I still think Liverpool can outstretch the lead.
Yeah, and oh Ty, I need to give you a call, bro. I need to give you a call after the stream though. I give you a call, bro. Look for me to call you. Ty is in the chat. Sorry, Maureen. Go ahead. So Ken, what? My bad, bro. My bad. My bad.
No, oh guys, you can learn, guys.
Okay, so Ken, what you take on the next fixtures after the international break?
um, yeah, Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. First of all, tough game. Arsenal need to win that match to stay in front of Nottingham Forest. So, or a draw, but to me, a win is more accepted. And Chelsea versus Leicester, Chelsea would want that win to inch a bit closer to get some more points. Let's see another game: Tottenham versus Man City. Man City looking for the win to bounce back and see if they can close down the gap with them and Liverpool in front. Liverpool, Southampton winning their match. Is it today? But bottom of the table, so that should be an easy one for Liverpool. But we don't know because football is football. You see the unexpected. But yeah, those are the four, four, four games that you should be looking forward to. Man U versus Ipswich. To me, Manchester United, I don't really count them in at this moment. So yeah.
I want to say this. To be quite honest, like there's a CFC Dante. I think that he worked for. So it's my pleasure. I think he worked for Maresca. To be honest, because every time that we play a UEFA Conference League game, he always get this lineup spot on. So I want you to introduce me to some of your contact, Dante. That I would really appreciate it, man. Because the last time I didn't even get to tell you on the last stream because I was at work, but I didn't know how you call that right down the middle. You call Tariq George will be starting on the right, so you have to have a contact in that Chelsea dressing room because Maresca said he told him 2 hours before the game, and you tell me you said it on the stream a hour. No, 1 day. Sorry, 1 day before the game. So I want to know your contact, bro. Just see if you can hook us up with your contact. But yeah, Ken, what you were saying, the next pictures after the international break, it's gonna be one that telling, because you got Liverpool, you got Man U is gonna be up against Newcastle, so there are gonna be some games there that's gonna either open a gap or close either open a gap or close some gaps. It's just hope that Chelsea can make or you can talk for Arsenal, Ken, but me and Marin we can talk for Chelsea. I hope that we can open some gaps. And one of the things that I realized with these fixtures, Chelsea haven't played a promoted team as yet. Chelsea haven't played one of the promoted team as yet. So I think that all you guys already played the promoted teams, or the teams are close to the bottom, but we still haven't played some of these teams yet. So the next game, I think Chelsea is going to be up against Aston Villa after the Leicester game, and then in the December period, then that's where the game come quick and fast. I think that Chelsea got some fixtures that definitely, if they can take advantage of some of these fixtures, I know that for a fact they still can be in and around, the top, not saying the top, but in the top four, in and around it, to be quite honest. Because if you notice in December, if you check the December period, that's where a lot of these teams fall away when the games are coming quick and fast. And let me give you a quick rundown of Chelsea December games. December, let me see, November. All right, December the 4th, Chelsea play Southampton. And then they on December 8th, look, 4 days apart. That to show you the games are coming quick and fast. They play Tottenham, and then after that they play Beckford, and then they got Everton, and they got Fulham. So there's some winnable game there. And then they got on the 30th, they do got Ipswich Town. So there's some very, very interested games in there. And that's where Chelsea normally fall away, to be honest, is in that December period. And for how we set up the team, our team's supposed to be fresh, because the way we've been rotating these players, sorry, Ken, that Arsenal don't got the luxury that they can rotate so many players, and still keep up the same standard. I'm showing a little shade in there, Ken. Don't mind
when
me.
you wait, when you mentioned the rotation, yeah, you were being quite honest. We don't really have the squad to rotate. We don't really have the squad like that. If you even see rotating players. You see, it's young players, and that's kind of our problem because the games are coming up and the games are just so right around the corner, one after the other, and that leads to injuries. And today we saw Saka coming off with a presumed injury. But yeah, it's a bit hard because those are the key players and they play match after match after match after match. Sometimes it's a bit tiring. So we will see.
Yeah, anything you want to add to that, Marin?
Yeah, I think in terms of in our side, we'll be all right because I mean we have two squads. We have an A team and a B team. So the B team will be playing the cup games and the A team will be playing the Premier League games. So I think we're fine in terms of rotation. Um, yeah, but if none of our players are injured, so I think that's a good sign this season that some of our players are not injured. So yeah, I think we'll be fine. But in terms of Arsenal, yeah, they will have a lot of some a little bit of stick, but I think they'll handle it very well because I think it's a perfect chance for Arteta to give some young players a chance in the cup games. Not in the Champions League games. The Champions League games they'll have their moments where they'll rotate, but in terms of like Premier League games and cup games, they'll have one or two players that will come in from the academy or something. But yeah, I think Arsenal, they do have a chance to, survive the December period. But like that's the only technical decision that's going to be made by Arteta if he gets it right again.
All right. Before we close off the show, because this is going to be the last question for both before we close off the show, because I promised you guys an hour, and it's we are 17 minutes over, which I know it's cool, but before we close off the show, I want this to close off the show. Do you I'm gonna start with Ken first because he's an Arsenal fan. So let me start off with him first. Do you think that this season, Mikel Arteta is under pressure because he has to win something this time around? Do you think it's time for him to win or to go and or if not, go?
Um, I have some friends who continue to pressure me about that same thing because I always pick up for Arteta. But to me, I believe this season should be the season. If not this season, he won a trophy, but technically it's not him. He went in on Unai Emery's final and Unai Emery's squad, but seeing him fumble trophy after trophy, it's just getting tiring. We want to see Arsenal with a Premier League or a Champions League, perhaps, and we're not seeing that. So for me, if he does not win anything this season, I believe he should be sacked because if Chelsea can sack Thomas Tuchel after winning a Champions League, I believe that he should be sacked for not winning anything.
What your take on it, Marin?
Mm. I think that's a fair point. I think with Arteta, like you guys gave him a lot of time. I'm sorry. 5 years, no major trophy. I with me, I expected him last season. I'm sorry, like it because the amount of money you guys gave him, like you guys gave him so much money, the recruitment, he trusted his players, his prolific players that he wanted, and he backed those players he got. He backed Raya, he backed Declan Rice, he backed all those guys. Still nothing, and by selling Rhys Nelson to Smith Rowe, one of the most important players, maybe you could say just for rotation, because Arteta never decided to buy technical players. That's like I think one problem with Arteta. I think he likes to overthink as well with things. So he never had that feeling of like just trying to buy one or two technical players as well. instead of just buying defenders. And I think missing out on a striker as well also kind of like laid him back. But I just don't see Arsenal doing something major this season. But in terms of the one thing, I don't know. I always have this feeling. This I don't know, and people. I think the Chelsea fans are writing me off the season. I believe, and I think I know you guys are gonna hate me for this, especially Dante. I believe that Arsenal has a chance to win UCL. Hear me out. Hear me out. Because these guys have a perfect squad to win Champions League, right? They don't have a squad to maintain league, but they have a perfect squad to maintain Champions League. Yes, they will have 1, 2 games that will be a rough situation. But do I think that they can go all the way? Yes, they can. They can go to the semis, even to the finals, if they just pull up good performances. But it's just all down to the mentality they have as well. If you have players that have good mentality of winning trophies, you can nick it. But if you go all the way to a competition where then you get to the last game of it, especially with the league last season, then you have your bumps now and you feel like you're gonna lose it. You lose it. So you always have to have that mentality as well. But I just feel like Arsenal have a good chance of maybe winning a major trophy in the European section. But we just have to wait and see what Arteta's gonna do with the squad. Because I don't trust whatever he's doing at the moment right now. 5 seasons, nothing. Only 2 FA Cups. I mean, it's a good success, but like, I mean, you coaching Arsenal, bro. You have to win a lot. So
My final take on it, before I even end the show, I think that Mikel Arteta have been broken. I think Mikel Arteta have been broken, and the reason why I think that he's broken is because of the last 2 seasons he pushed so close and he thought he'd go over the line. So I think that he did everything that he can. So this season he come in and he's overthinking every single aspect of the game, because I think that in his opinion, he did his best, to come out on top, and he didn't. So now he's wondering what else can he do to come out on top. So I think that he's broken. Don't be surprised if he be like Klopp, that end up just saying that he's tired, he's burned out. I think that right now he is a broken man. If you listen to his press conference, even when he come out and said, "Oh, I think I can go to Chelsea and beat Chelsea," because he lost to Inter Milan. So the pressure he's putting on his team, to cross the line. And I think these players have seen it, that he is broken. He's out of his depth. He's out of ideas how to go up against the great Manchester City. I think he's broken. And I think Liverpool surprised him, because he thought that he would have been the one up there right now. City is struggling. He thought he would have been the team that would be up there right now ahead of Manchester City. So I think he's a wounded animal right now.
And just to add on this, like I think he also underestimated the upcoming teams, especially Chelsea and um Brighton. He underestimated them. He probably thought that these gens are not gonna rebuild and become stronger. With Premier League, you don't like okay, with Premier League you can't underestimate a team where it's having an off season. Next season they're gonna just come out of nowhere, and after that they was just banging in trophies before you guys start banging in trophies. So at the moment right now, Arsenal, right, you can play good football right now, but you have to back it up with trophies. You can't play football with no trophies because you're just not what? What are you living there? Nothing, no history. But when you back it up with trophies, that's where everyone's gonna have a say about it. No one is gonna remember who lost the Premier League. Everyone's gonna remember who won the Premier League. So at the end of the day, with Arsenal, like it's kind of like with him, he underestimated some teams. That's where it goes back to my point of saying he didn't invest on buying technical players, because technical players is very important in the team. You can buy defenders, but you need someone that's very creative in the team. You guys lost Odegaard, and now trying to replace him, it's a big issue because you had to count on a young player, right, to fit that role, and he's not good enough to fill that role yet. So in terms of like recruitment as well, like there's a lot of question you have to go back to Arteta. So yeah, I think he underestimated everything this season. He just got it all wrong, all wrong.
Yeah. And as we come to the final end of the show, I want to say thank you to each and everyone that tuned in with us. I told you guys it was an hour. We go over it, but the conversation was good. So we really appreciate it, guys. You know, thank you so much. Murray, and if you don't mind, stay backstage for a second, bro.
From my bad place, oh yeah. Tryna be a better me just for you. But it ain't easy, it's hard to get used to. Minding my own business, I'm not worried about what he do. Cause nowadays, all it is let me see through. I always say this is that I'm staying around people. Finding my own path like I'm writing my own sequel. Two-faced people all around, they be equal. 2021, you can never trust nobody. Good and bad thoughts on my mind, they be crowded. Pushing to get past his limits, then he see he bought it. Family work hard, but I never guess I'm found it. Came a long way in my dream, now I be drowning. They dying, I hear got some hearts pounded. Multi-talented, my passion, I haven't found it. Yeah, in my home, I was never ever doubted. I'm here from my bad place, oh yeah. Tryna be a